Hello, thank you, and welcome. Today we address the elephant in the room. The Ellie in the room. That's right, we're talking about The Last of Us 2. I am your host, Mag, and you are watching Tag with Mag, which is a metaphor for so many things. But Tag, the title itself, is called The Art of Gaming. And Tag is about connecting with the players and the developers and being able to bring people together. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but I wanted to upload this video to discuss The Last of Us 2. Now, there won't be spoilers until about 5 minutes from now, and I will give you guys a fair warning. We're going to stick to the gameplay and my experience with a non-spoiler filled format. Just to address it right off the bat, I do love this game, and I am so surprised at how much I adore it. I'm very critical of Naughty Dogs all the time because they are one of my favorite studios, and as my favorite studio, I think it's our job as creators. I own a press site. There's a lot of stuff I do. I think it's important to hold people to their standards at all times. Now, I'm very careful about not over exaggerating on my expectations for studios or games. It's important to just be grounded on what to expect. And what I expected was The Last of Us, Uncharted, for The Last of Us mixed together with a new story, some incredible visuals, and I got all that and more. So to address the gameplay, first and foremost, I am so amazed by this game's gameplay. It did a lot of things right. For The Last of Us 1, I complained a lot about the AI. I complained about some of the players' clunkiness and just mechanics that weren't as fluid. And they really upped the ante, creating new systems like the dodge, which I thought was very important, and some stagger mechanics so that when the player gets shot, he can't just charge forward towards enemies. He has to use official tactics, and the enemies are way more responsive. They will react and try to shoot you or flank you, and there's just a variety there that is very well mastered, and it's not easy to do, guys. We all expect this high pedestal for certain premium games, but the facts are that this isn't something you can just do. And the truth is, in this game's gameplay, they've done it in many regards. I can easily go into the game now that I completed it and go into encounters and just showcase, which I will do in my live stream for the next day. Today, I'm going to be doing that very soon. But you can watch me on Twitch, YouTube, Mixer. I'm streaming on every platform. And my important factor is the ability to experience a variety of play styles. So maybe it's a sniping section, maybe I'm sneaking, full-fledged attacks. Now it's a mixture of human enemies versus the creatures, aka zombies. All of these things are so powerfully done and well crafted that I am amazed by what they've done, and I think the bar is set for people to be able to pace and provide an amazing experience. And now there's a conversation to have about the actual open world versus open areas. I don't consider this game open world. I do consider it open areas, but it's the biggest that Naughty Dog has ever done, and they provided so much great gameplay. That is my short end of the stick without getting too deep into it. On my live streams, we can discuss it thoroughly, but I wanted to keep this recording a bit short as possible. Outside of gameplay, we're about to get into the spoilers of the story. Before we do, Of course, you know the visuals. I don't have to say nothing. I don't care about your 4K or 8K when the new consoles come out. Okay, I care about the attention to detail because I know that 4K will look beautiful even if it's a Mario cartoon game. But the attention to detail, I'm talking about in every room there's something small specific that opens the door to a lore and backstory of some sort. There's just small details in this store that we're watching here, just things of that nature that are powerful. And when it comes to the art, and this game focuses on the art, it's called T.A.G, the art of gaming, and it's basically not just about the visuals, but just an example of things like this person who had an arrow stuck in him telling a story in this store. So those are the things that are very beautiful. The attention to detail, very meticulous, if that's the right word. But I love all of that. Now we are getting into the spoiler heavy focus portion of this, and I'm a little worried because I don't want to spoil it for nobody who comes and watches my content. We are going to discuss the good and the bad, right? So without further ado, I'm going to showcase some footage that will upset some of you, and I'm okay with that because I completely understand the reasoning. And just to make it make sense, okay, spoiler alerts from here on out. I have to do it. It's so important for this discussion to open up, and I'm going to talk about it on my streams also. Look for Mad Gamer INC everywhere you look. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we're here. We're gonna discuss it. Let's do it. All right. So in this game, you play as Ellie, of course, and it's pretty amazing. And she's incredible, as we know. She's improved, beautiful, all over the board as far as her tactics and new abilities and things of that sort. But we do get introduced to this character here named Abby. And she has a story that is pulverizing. And as you can see here, she's being saved by Joel. The truth is, she was hunting for a man to kill him because that man killed her father, destroyed the future of humanity, and also just destroyed the faction, all her friends and family. And he's easily to blame for so much. And I'm not going to dive into every single aspect. But the reason why this is important to note and to understand is that Joel is this man. They coincidentally get caught up in a situation, maybe or maybe not, and Joel gets set up by Abby. And this opens the door to what fans right now are extremely upset about. And I'm going to let this gameplay play so that you guys can see it in a minute. But facts are that it's a polarized, like there's no way you're not upset and it doesn't bother you and it doesn't make you uncomfortable on what happens to Joel. Abby is a playable character. She plays about half of the game. You play as Ellie and you play as Abby. You do get to see why Abby is the way she is and why things happen the way they did. And I believe it's justified. And I know that's probably the worst thing to say, but I believe it's justified what Abby does. She kills Joel. Joel killed her father, who was the scientist, the doctor, who was going to do the surgery to help create a cure through Ellie's immunity. So, Joel destroying, being the terrorist and the serial mass murdering killer that he was, ends up getting what he deserved. That's me speaking from the outside. But if you watch my playthrough, which I live streamed, I almost cried. I was shocked. I was in disbelief. I think I paused the game and I just could not believe what I saw at the first moment. This can't be real. This has to be a dream. So I felt what everybody has felt, but I am a logical man who understands the true perspectives of life in real world and video games and movies needing to push the envelope and really cause your emotions to get stirred. And what happens here is in the first 3 hours, she kills Joe. Everything you're watching here happens. He saves her from her situation. And then, as a matter of fact, guys, this is looking like it's turning into a love scene. I don't want that. And we're gonna try and fast forward it. So there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, apologies. So this is a live, non-edited input. So basically, this next scene here will let you feel what we felt and the reason why the outrage is out there. And I could completely understand the emotions it is to lose Joe, the greatest character for part one in one of the greatest games, right? That's all we know. This is facts. But Joel was a terrorist. Never mind all the people he's killed before that. Just the Fireflies alone. What he did in that facility, it is so wrong. And in this scene here, we see the most devastating situation that we all can feel or think. Everybody finds out that his name is Joe. And that's when he gets set up, shot down, and things get bad. But the principle here, and the reason why this is important, is to understand that storytelling wise, we've seen 50 plus years of the hero wanting revenge for his wife, wanting to save somebody or save the world, saving the world, kissing the girl, the end. And it's always a typical ending. And I honestly am tired of it. And I think we need more challenges and more variety. And the facts are, Naughty Dog dared enough to kill off the person we love the most. Outside of Ellie, Joel was the guy. He was the main star for part one. And when you kill the star, you are going to receive criticism. But I believe it was justified in the facts that how would I say it? The facts that Joel definitely wasn't a good guy, but that the game talks about our humanity. It talks about how we are, who we are as people, and how these post pandemic, aka coronavirus, affected us and destroyed us, can change who we are as humanity and turn into these animals. Lovable or not, Joel wasn't a good guy. And Ellie wasn't a good girl either. And especially in this game, she does a lot of terrible things. That being said, we get to play a character who's just as bad as them. But she actually has more reasoning to feel how she felt. If you look at Abby's story, they kill off her father. They kill off everybody that she loves. They kill off the faction, and they basically destroy the chances for humanity to be saved. It's all because of Joel. So this next scene here is where it gets nasty and disrespectful, and this hurts for the players. And they purposely designed it in this way to put the players through some very, very difficult moments. And I'll just let this play for a second. I'm not going to put on the audio. Maybe I should. We're just going to live through this for a minute. I think it's important that we all go through it one more time.
What's going on?
Let him go.
Who is that?
Let him
She
go.
snuck in.
Why aren't you posted up outside?
We didn't think anyone was gonna show up.
What the hell did you expect? We gotta get out of here before the whole town's on top of us. You're done.
You want what I want, right?
End it. Now.
Joel, get up. Joel, fucking get up. Please stop. Please don't shoot. Joel, please get up. No. Fucking kill you.
Just grueling moments. I could feel Ellie's performance. I get a little emotional. Even that said, even with my emotions rattling up right now, as a writer, as someone who looks at art and wanting to really move people and push people towards things, this really was masterfully done and put to place specifically to destroy us. Destroy us emotionally, mentally, and just devastate us. And honestly speaking, it was a good job. They did a good job destroying us. And that's why a lot of you are angry. And I understand. I am human and I feel your pain. So, the topic of the day has to do with accepting this. Because what does it do? It shows you that Joel wasn't great for part one. We might think so because we played as him. And then the reality strikes. He wasn't a good guy. And the facts are, Ellie in this game does terrible things also. Then Abby does terrible things also. In both games, part 1 and 2, it's a lot of terrible things. We justify what Joel did because of Ellie. But Ellie didn't want that. We knew that. She said it. It all can't be for nothing. In part 1, it all can't be for nothing. We have to get to the Fireflies and do this. And that shows you how much of a hero Ellie was willing to be to sacrifice herself in any way, shape, or form to make her life have meaning and purpose. And in part 2, she explains that to Joel, and there's a discussion there later on. And these are the principles of our struggle between good and bad and the right or wrong and all the things that have happened. And until you guys can truly just accept that fact that, yeah, we lost who we lost and it is what it is. Joel wasn't great. Ellie isn't great. Abby isn't great. They're bad people. And they did a lot of bad things. And bad things come to those who do bad things. And it's just interesting overall for people's reaction. But I do, understand where they're coming from. But it's not at all a wrong thing. In fact, to address the whole game, Abby was incredible to me. Just because you hate her at the start and then you see her story and what it really was meant to present to us, you have to respect it, and you say, wow, this is something special in this story where this villain has a human story that's deeper than what people think. She regretted killing Joel, and we see that in the game. We see all of that. And I think that it's important to address that. So that is my main topic of it all when it comes to the story. I'm not defending Naughty Dog's decision. I appreciate the fact that I hated what happened to Joel, but I also appreciate the fact that they were willing to push the story in a way where I get to see both sides. I really get to see Abby and know her life and know what's going on, then know Ellie's. And they're both in a different fight, but in the same struggle of dealing with bad situations and circumstances. And Tommy's a perfect example of somebody who wants to protect Ellie from doing something crazy, and he ends up trying to go after, to get revenge. And he did it more to protect Ellie because he can't get Joel back. So these are the principles and concepts and really powerful moments, in my opinion. Overall, just an arc of story that's all over the globe when it comes to tugging, pulling, pushing your emotions, making you see perspectives, whether it's the villain's perspective, and these are all, how would I say? I wouldn't want to say optional, but they're not real. What I mean by that is Joel being good in part 1 is not real. We all felt that. We all were happy he saved Ellie and the ending and everything, but he wasn't a hero. And then you go to part 2, and Ellie isn't a hero either in this game. And it's just crazy. If you really want me to dig deep in, Ellie's very selfish. When Joel dies, she goes on a rampage and gets more people killed. And she kills more people than she should have. She's just disgusting, to say the least, on all her actions. Now, we love her, we understand her morals and her conflict, and we're deep involved with her, invested in her. But the facts are the facts, and this is a beautiful thing that they did when they wrote it, and they showcased it, as well as the story with Abby not being great either. And honestly, those are really important factors. And the game is dark and heavy, but that's what it's supposed to be. So for anybody that wants to kind of, how would I say, talk bad about Naughty Dog's decisions of killing Joel and killing off so many people we like or whatever, this is a more realistic game than movies, TV shows where the hero always survives, everything's always good at the end. This is a lot truer to real world and a lot truer to how things go in life. And I personally really loved it, and I think that we deserve more. We deserve more of games like this, not just because it's a technical masterpiece on gameplay and presentations and all that, but story-wise also, because for me, story-wise, it didn't just follow the straight line and stick to the gameplay. It opened doors and talked about different things and challenged itself and challenged us as viewers to respect and appreciate the variety that it offered. So anyway, that's what the deal is. I'm going to close this out. And thank you guys for watching. I just wanted to get that off my chest. I really did. And hope you guys enjoyed this recording. I didn't want to go too far down the rabbit hole. But But that is my small perspective of it that I wanted to offer. I'm truly moved by the story. My favorite characters is Abby and Lev. They're both incredible because they're opposite perspectives between the lovable character of Ellie and what they had to do to be relevant. So anyways, that's my view, and I know that a lot of people will disagree. They're upset about Joel dying, and I completely could understand, but I think you guys got it wrong, and you don't have the perspective necessary to appreciate the overall concept. It's not about lesbians. It's not about the trans. It's not about the big bulky girl who's kind of like a guy, and people want to theorize that she's also a trans, just like Lev. All of that silly stuff that people think is a part of the story, that has nothing to do with the core essence of the story about what it means to be human. And will you let all of this ugly in the world turn you into ugly and make you become just as bad as the rest of the world is? You know, these are the thoughts and questions that if a post-apocalypse happened, what will we be? Will we be like Joel, trying to save our families, which I think I would. Protect my family, I'll do anything it takes. But, you know, it doesn't make it right. And same thing with Ellie, she isn't too great. So, those are the battles and concepts that I personally love. And this is me talking vaguely because I want to present something better. Again, I stream all the time. You can come and chat with me about it. This footage here is strictly for the content on YouTube, just to have a shorter version of what I talk about, because I'll be here for days if you let me. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the Art of Gaming. Yes sir, Tag with Mag, bringing you nothing but the best. See you soon.